And let's just get started. And as always, you do not necessarily need a mat. You can have one if that feels more supportive, especially if you want to like shift around and it just feels like you need a more sticky surface. If you're on a carpet, it's fine. I like to work on hardwood because it gives me both grip and support. So that's really up to you. You can play with that. So you can work on any surface that feels comfortable for you. The thing I want to emphasize is that you don't necessarily need a yoga mat to do this practice. And you also don't need a lot of time out of your day. I'm going to show you that in about 30 or so minutes, you're going to get a lot of energy moving through your body and not feel so restricted and stuck. Because I think when we have a big change happen in our lives through any transition that we go through, it's very common to feel unclear and to feel stuck and not really know what to do next. And what I believe is that in those cases, you use your physical body to move the energy. Instead of try to meditate or do something that requires you to really be still and contemplative and think through things, it's best to move the body. Because when the body moves, the energy, the chi moves through the body, that activates things to move emotionally, mentally, and in every aspect of your life. So with that said, let's get started. Just doing a little bit of standing, just to kind of come into our center, into a state of presence. So we'll stand with the feet about hip width apart, and I really want to encourage you when you stand hip width with the feet parallel to gaze at the outer edges of your feet. Because sometimes we think that our feet are parallel, but the toes are turning out a little bit. When you look inside the feet, gaze at the outsides of your feet and turn the toes in slightly. That'll support your knees a little. The knees are going to move out toward the outer edges of your feet as well. So you open space in the inner thighs. Now your tailbone is kind of going to be in a neutral position here. You want to make sure not to jut your chest forward or stick the tailbone out. You also want to make sure not to over tuck and kind of crouch forward. Just try to stay neutral, maybe err more side on tucking the tailbone inward. Pull the abdomen in a little bit so that you get support from the core of your body as well. Adjust your position, hollow the armpits. So you want chi to be able to travel and circulate through every part of your body. And because we say that chi circulates in a circular motion, it's important to keep especially the areas under the arms and the hands, all those areas nice and open so that energy can move. And then I'd like you to take a deep breath and close your eyes. And maybe take just a couple of deep breaths here, just noticing the pace, the rhythm of your inhales and exhales. And just soften your eyes and all the muscles in your face. Relax your shoulders. Ground into the earth through your feet, and then feel the crown of your head lift up as though to elongate your spine a little bit more. Your tongue can rest comfortably on the top palate of your mouth, and the jaw can relax a little bit more in that way. And the first thing you want to bring your attention to is your physical body. So where are you noticing that you need to make even the slightest adjustment to get more comfortable? And as you become more comfortable in this standing position, notice how that affects your breath. Does that become deeper? More at ease? And then take a deep breath there. And then bring your attention to your emotional state as you enter your practice. What feeling or feelings are moving with you today? And the important thing is to name the particular feeling without having to explain why you're feeling it. That's what being present is. There's no judgment. We're just noticing. Is there joy, sadness, frustration? And then take another breath there, filling your lungs. Exhale and notice the thoughts. Sometimes when you come to practice, your mind will be really active, and at other times it's more quiet. I want you to notice the thoughts as though they're clouds just passing through the sky on a clear, windy day. The thoughts arise and then they pass by. You give them your attention, and that's all. You notice, watch, and let things change. And then take another breath there. And finally, become aware of the environment in which you're standing. Or you may be sitting. That's fine too. Notice the temperature of the room, any smells or sounds. Become aware of where you are in this moment and how it feels to be here. And then take another breath. Softly open your eyes. You can gaze just a couple of feet in front of you at first. And then once you invite the light back into the body a little bit more, you can gaze forward more. Very nice. And we're just going to start with some shaking. So just to begin to circulate the energy through the body, you can start to lift and drop the heels and just let the arms go nice and loose. You can breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. Just let everything loosen up. And as you get into that, you can start shaking more. So you can start moving your wrists, shake out the feet, shake out the arms. Let all the tension out. Breathe. Take your arms above the head and down and wherever you want to go. Just shake, shake, shake. Just moving that chi. Good. And then settle that down a little bit. Shaking a little more. One more big breath. Good. And then let's start to just swing the arms. Just gently let your hips, as they rotate, swing the arms. So there's an important difference between moving your arms and just letting them swing. And what I want you to get used to with this practice is to be as soft and smooth with your movements as possible. In other words, try to have it be less about the use of your muscles and more about just letting the movement come. So the difference would be here, I'm letting my arms swing. Here, I'm swinging my arms. You see the difference? So you want to just let this looseness come into the body. Less control. As you do that in your practice, guess what? You start to feel more free and able to do that in your life. So now begin to turn your head, and as you turn your head, lift the back heel off the ground, just to protect the spine, but also to help you twist a little bit deeper. And again, make sure you're really loose in your upper body as you do the twist. And then start to slow that down. Good. And then let's work. We're going to start releasing all of the major joints of the body. You want to first start with the neck and the shoulders. Now the shoulders are particularly important because those are areas through which many channels run, in particular the ones that are related to the chest. So we have the lungs, the heart, the large intestine, all of which can accumulate a lot of phlegm and dampness that can make us feel really emotionally stuck in our lives. So as you free up the shoulders and the chest, you'll start to feel more open in your heart, more able to receive both love and possibilities. So let's start first with the neck as we work our way down into the shoulders, hands on your hips. Tuck your tailbone to contain the energy in the abdomen and softly bend your knees. You're going to lift one shoulder up and just move that ear toward the shoulder, alternating sides. Just go side to side as you breathe. And breathe. So notice how my hips are not moving here. It's really just the neck. So the cervical spine is what you're trying to move. The 7 vertebrae in that area. So you want to isolate the movement in the neck to open up that part of the spine. Good. And then you're going to go forward with the head as the shoulders go back, and back with the neck as the shoulders go forward. So as this goes back, shoulders forward. As the head goes forward, shoulders back. And you're just going to do that as a continuous movement. And breathe. Good. And now we're going to connect all of those movements together. So we were going side, side, forward, back. So you're going to go side, forward, side, back. And what this begins to do over time, so you can break it down and do it really, really slowly at first, but over time, creates one continuous circular movement with the neck. And you may hear crunching and crackling. That's all normal, especially at first. And as the neck frees up and you lubricate that joint, that'll start to free up some of that crackling as well. A lot of that crackling is what we call wind, but also can be from too much dryness in the joint. So these movements help to stimulate blood and fluid circulation into those areas to moisten the major joints of the body. Good, and then we'll do the other direction. When you're practicing at home, you can go in increments of about 9 for each movement. 9 is considered to be the most yang or active number in Chinese medicine. Remember to breathe, long inhales and exhales, using that ujjayi breath, constricting the back of your throat. And then come to center and release your arms. Now we're going to go right into the shoulders. But we'll break it up into 4 parts. You'll go forward with the shoulders, you'll go up with the shoulders, back and down. And notice as I'm coming down, I bend my knees. As I come up, I straighten the legs. So there's this wave-like motion that starts to happen over time through the spine. So at first you're just working to move your shoulders, get used to that movement. And then as you get used to it, start to wave the spine. And just keep going. And notice also that you want to keep the hands and arms really relaxed. So the movement is not coming from using the muscles again, right? You're using just the shoulders. Good, and then let's reverse directions. So now you're going to go back, up, forward, and down. Back, up, forward, and down. And then start to create one continuous circle. Make sure your feet are still parallel. Breath is nice and deep. Good. And let's work a little bit more on the shoulders. You're going to extend the arms out, bend your elbows, and place your hands over the shoulders. So one hand on each shoulder. And you're going to start to just gently rotate. And as you rotate, get used to that motion. Make sure you're not swinging your whole body, right? I'm not turning my whole body, just the upper body. And as you get used to this motion, you'll start to drop the elbow as you come forward. Just keep your gaze forward. Eyes soft, breath deep. So long inhales and exhales. Again, using that ujjayi breath. Slightly constricting the back of your throat, breathing in and out through your nose. If you feel a lot of tension and restriction, you can breathe out through the mouth. That's more of a clearing breath. Good, and then slow that down and shake that out. And then let's take the arms out to the sides and we're going to start rotating. So you're going to start pulling forward. So imagine you're grabbing a doorknob and trying to open and close it. So you open and close. And as you do this, make sure that your shoulder is coming forward, the top of the shoulder. So it's a full rotation in the shoulder girdle. This is also going to help protect your rotator cuff, which has a tendency to get both dried out, but also weaker as we get older, and it's very prone to injury. So lubricating the shoulder joint will help to protect that region as a whole. Good, and then what I want you to do is alternate the movements. So as one arm comes forward, so the front of the hand faces the front, the other arm rotates back. And you just go forward and back. So notice one shoulder forward, the other shoulder back. And that's what the movement looks like. Good. And you're already, I'm sure, starting to really feel warmer as this area starts to release stagnation. There may be a lot of tension that's accumulated there, so don't be worried or don't get scared if you start to feel a little easily fatigued or even a little bit of pain. Now, of course, not sharp shooting pain, but if you feel discomfort in this area, a lot of that's just the latency that's freeing up out of the shoulder. Good, and then come up with the hands. And now what I want you to do is rotate. So you're doing that full rotation with the arms and shoulders forward. And I want you to bring your arms forward and let your left arm come over the right. So it's a rotation and swing. And then hook your elbows. And those of you who can't touch the hands, just keep it here or hold wherever you can. Those of you who can reach for the hands, bring the hands together. And then push your shoulders forward, tuck your tailbone, and lift the elbows up. So now you're really working to open the points known as the bladder shoe points in the upper part of your spine. And the reason why these points are so important is because they actually activate energy into particular internal organs. When you're working in the upper back in this way, you're really activating primarily the heart, the lungs, and the diaphragm. So that should help you breathe more deeply. But the lungs, when that chi is active, you're able to let go more easily. That's what also helps you gain clarity when your mind isn't so full. So lift your hands a little bit higher. Now first, just release the hands. Let your wrist relax. And then slowly, slowly, very slowly with the movement, bring it down. And I know that can get a little bit tense, so just take a few moments to roll the shoulders back. And be really careful with this movement. If you're aligning yourself before you get into the posture, it's going to make the posture a lot more easy. Don't push yourself to go further than is comfortable for you. And then forward, and then just shake it out. So now we'll do the other side. So now rotate forward and back. Just get used to that movement because it's really the rotation in the shoulder that's going to help you bring your arm and hook it. So bring your arm forward and hook it. Good. Just when you're doing this, also make sure you're really broadening the upper back, right? We're not tensing, we're not collapsing. Because remember, there's those back shoe points run along the outer parts of your spine, and you want to make sure to keep those areas open in order to let energy circulate through them. We're trying to nourish the internal organs, activate energy through them. Very nice. Now what you're going to do is pull the shoulders forward, start here, and then swing. So notice my hands are still facing each other, the tops of the hands. I'm going to take my right arm over the left and hook. And if this is enough, stay here. Okay, you're already getting a big opening, right? It's opening your scapula, it's opening the upper back from the cervical region of your spine into the upper thoracic. But if you want to go deeper, you can hook. So first hook, then you're going to push the elbows out and spiral your hands up. So push, spiral. Notice how my upper back is open. And now you just breathe. Tuck your tailbone a little. Notice where you feel stuck. Most likely it's going to be in the upper part of your neck, the shoulders, the jaw. We're freeing all that up. Just keep breathing into it. This will also make it easier to breathe. So when you're opening the lungs, you want to make sure not only to open the front of your chest, but also the back, right? The back area of the ribs. One more breath. Lift a little higher with the arms if you can. And then first, as you exhale, just release the wrists and the hands. It's a very slow movement. Then come forward and slowly, slowly, slowly release your arms. Very nice. I know that can be really intense, so let's shake that out. Roll the shoulders gently. Keep breathing. Notice what you feel now. Does the mind feel more clear, quiet? There may have been some frustration that accumulated from doing that practice. Just let that be. Take deep breaths into it. Go forward with the shoulders. There isn't a particular state that you try to achieve when you're doing your yoga practice. It's all about just noticing what's happening moment to moment and just accepting yourself for the way you are. So now we're going to open the sides of the body. So this is also an area that tends to accumulate a lot of stagnation. This is the area through which the gallbladder meridian runs. So the side body is primarily governed by the gallbladder channel. And that channel, it helps to circulate energy, through the side body, as I mentioned, but it's also an important organ system to help you to take decisive action. So when the gallbladder meridian is open in the body, we're able to pivot and make clear decisions in our lives. And then slow that down. Good. And now we're going to go right into the hips, the largest joints that tend to also accumulate a lot of stagnation. And the reason why the hips are particularly important for our emphasis today, so working to gain clarity, is because the hip joints, when they're tight, they not only hold on to a lot of physical stagnation, but you can also bury. They kind of become like the burial ground of a lot of emotions that we are not willing or not able or ready to deal with. Reverse direction. So as we free up the hips, we bring a lot of that emotional stagnation out of latency. So we can process it. And then so we can let it go. So now you want to start making bigger circles with the hips. And notice as I make the larger circles, I'm also going to start to stretch through the hamstrings. So this is an area that also gets very tight. So as I come forward, arch the back. As I go out and forward, my legs go straight. Right? So just making big circles with the hips. When the energy of the hips is stagnant, it also inhibits circulation through the lower back. So a lot of times we think our back is really tight, and it could be because your hips are too tight, and that's why your back feels congested. And when that happens, then it inhibits the energy from circulating through the kidneys. That's reverse directions. If there's not energy circulating through the kidneys, then you're going to feel fatigued. And it's also going to inhibit that energy from moving up from the kidneys in the lower back, up through the spine, and into the brain, which will make you feel mentally very foggy. One more. Okay, release. So that's why it's so important to open the hips, because you want to free the hips, the gallbladder meridian, so you can pivot and make decisions. But you also want to circulate energy that's stuck in the lower back up the spine, so you can be clear about what those decisions can be, so your brain doesn't feel so foggy. So now let's go a little bit deeper into the hips. What I want you to do, somewhere around you, I want you to find a table or chair or a wall to place your hand against. And as you place your right hand on that wall or chair or table, whatever's there, I want you to put more weight into that right leg. And as you put more weight into that leg, soften the knee so you're not hyperextending it, and start to swing the left leg. So this is real easy. You don't need a ton of space to do it. Just need enough space so you don't hit what's behind you. So just swing. So eventually you start to take bigger movements with the leg. So eventually your leg is going to come up so your shin is parallel, and then it goes back so that your thigh becomes parallel. But to begin with, let's just do gentle, slow movements. And you're weighted enough in that right leg that the leg can swing without touching the floor. And if it touches a little bit, that's okay, but you want to make sure that you're not dropping the leg and then picking it up and dropping it and picking it up. It's just a motion to let that hip really loosen up. Breathe. Good, and then slow that down. Shake it out. And let's switch sides. So now your weight is going to come into your left leg so that you can lift off of your right leg and swing that leg. And again, anything you want to hold on to. And over time, you don't even need to hold on to anything. You can just be in the middle of the room swinging your leg, right? And as you do that, if you're already feeling like you can go there, you can start swinging your arms as well. And you'll be able to go higher and higher. But at first, like I mentioned, let's just go slow, gentle to really loosen the hip. And then go ahead and slow that down. Good. And shake it out. Nice. And then let's work a little bit deeper into the hip. You're going to place one hand over the opposite wrist, and the palm of that hand comes down as you lift the knee. So you're going to lift the knee and press the hand down. Lift and press. And try to have so that your knee goes out and up. Eventually what you're working toward is to get the knee to touch the shoulder on each side. Breathe. Inhale and exhale. Point your toes as you lift your feet. Yeah. Let's do a couple more. Good, and then release. Shake that out. And now I want you to just take your hands on your hips and lift and drop. So if you're working with your right leg, you're going to swing it across, leading with the knee. You're going to go up, out, down and around. Out, down and around. You're trying to get the hip to move in its full rotation. And you want to go higher and higher if you can. Breathe. Eventually, if this gets comfortable enough, you're going to do full rotations. So no stopping, just circling with the knee as though there's a paintbrush attached to the top of your knee and just drawing circles in front of you. Good. And then release. Let's go to the other side. Going out and out and out and out. And then eventually, full rotation. Breathe. And then release your arms as you get more comfortable. Good, and then release. Shake that out. And let's go the other direction. So if you came in with this leg, you're going to now, if you went out with this leg, you're going to now come in. So it's down and around, up, down and around, up, down and around. And then if you want to do full rotation, just swing circles. Breathe. Deep breaths. Good, and then the other direction. So whichever way you went before, you want to just reverse that. And you can just play with this on your own. So remember, all the practices we do here are just to spark some inspiration, to give you ideas for how to develop a home practice. It's not just about coming to class. It's about what you do in your quiet space alone. And then shake that out. Shake it all out. And then let's just recenter. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, wash it down the front of your body. Inhale as you allow the energy to travel up the spine. Exhale as you bring it down the front of the body. And one more time, inhale. And exhale. We'll just close with horse stance. So this will be the final pose we do this morning. You're going to stretch your feet out. And you can take about a 45-degree angle with the feet, with each foot, so that when you come down, your knees are over the ankles and also pushing out, so you're doing an external rotation, pushing out toward the pinky toes. Hands can come at the chest. Activate that Ujjayi breath. Long, deep inhales and exhales. Tuck your tailbone. So make sure you're not here, right? You want to tuck. And at the same time, over time you want your thighs to be parallel to the floor, so you're going deeper and deeper. And every time you practice, you'll find you'll be able to go deeper and deeper. So daily practice is the key. Even if you just do 10 minutes a day. Take deep, full breaths. Use your legs, not the lower back. Soften your toes. Let the thighs do the work. Let the hips open up. And feel the freedom. You're stronger than you think you are. Let's take 3 more breaths. A little bit deeper. If your knees start to hurt, of course, come out. Try to relax the feet. Put your knees out toward the pinky toes. Dig a little bit deeper. And then press into the heels as you slowly inhale and come up. Turn the toes in slightly. Release the hands. And again, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Feel the energy circulate up through the back body and down along the front of your body. Inhale up and exhale down. And then heel and toe your feet together. Step them about hip width apart again. We're just going to tap the head a little bit. So just to stimulate circulation through the mind, through the brain. And then tap this point, it's known as bladder 1 or bladder 2, about on the inner side of your eyebrow, that helps to open up the bladder channel. So it also helps to stimulate the energy of the kidneys, through the lower part of the spine. So with both hands, just use your middle finger to tap that area. And breathe. Good. And then go ahead and take your fingers and tap just below the clavicle on each side. So those are some points around lung 1, the lung meridian, to activate. You can just kind of use all your fingers even, just to kind of stimulate this area, stimulating the lungs. So you can breathe more fully. Breathing more fully allows you to let go more easily. Feel more emotionally free, more present. And then let's take that and just tap it down the inner part of the arm. And then turn the hand down and tap along the outer part of the arm. Into the shoulder, the neck, the scapula. And then down and up. Good, and then let's do the other side. Down and up. Good. And then shake that out. And the digits contain what's known as the Jingwell points. Those are important points to open the sensory orifices or the portals to help you feel more alert, more clear. So what we're going to do, and you often see this in massage, is you're going to grab one of your fingers by creating kind of a V position with the index and middle finger. And you're going to just pull that finger. pull, and then just do all the fingers on that hand. And then the other side. Kind of popping the fingers, right? You can do one more time. So this is the entry and exit points of chi in the body, through the fingers. And then rub your hands. We're going to take that energy, we're going to place it right over the lower back, onto the area of the kidneys, and just breathe. Feel as though when you inhale, you're filling the palms of your hands with chi. And then as you exhale, you're sending that chi right into the kidneys. You can even close your eyes as you do this. Just do it 3 times, 3 deep breaths. Slowing down, recentering. Taking that heat that you built in your practice and just drawing it in. And then take your hands and wrap them to the front of your body. Ladies, you'll place your right hand first, directly below the navel with the left hand on top. And gentlemen, you'll do the opposite, left hand first, right hand on top. Take a few deep breaths and just settle in. Notice where you are in your physical body, what you feel, the sensations, the movement of energy, heat, and perhaps even discomfort or tension that may have resulted from moving that stagnant energy through your body. Relax your feet, take a breath. And then notice your emotional state, the feelings. Is there more joy, more clarity? Perhaps a little sadness. Just feel what you're experiencing. And then notice your thoughts, the pace of your thoughts, if your mind is quiet or active, simply noticing. And then a breath. Acknowledging and giving thanks to the environment in which you're standing. And all of the good fortune, all of the blessings of this healthy body, this creative mind, and your ability to feel everything as you move through this journey called life. Gently, slowly open your eyes. Take a deep breath. Rub your hands together. Start to wake up. Come back into the moment. Feel your feet grounded. And use this clarity, this sense of ease in your mind to navigate the rest of your day. Namaste. Thank you for practicing.